During this week of calm between Christmas and New Year's, I want to ask you a question. Will it be a hug or a handshake? By Lois Vidaver. The TV news coming across the airwaves this past year has driven me to distraction. When I watch mayhem blowing up the world near and far, the feeling I experience in the pit of my stomach debilitates me. It is dread, pure and simple. The antidote to this is a mind game I always have on the ready. Its goal, to drain the dread and find the hope. Snapping off the TV and using my electronics, I search for peace in other voices, listening for hope in their words and inspiration in their actions. I'll share my favorites. Inspiration often comes to me by way of Facebook. When author Anne Lamott's essay popped up on my FB screen recently, it began with the sentiment, "Now is the time for grassroots love." This was interesting. What did she mean? She went on, "Grace is grassroots kindness, sitting quietly with the shattered, a gentle touch, glasses of water for the thirsty." She urges me to live my life, a life of love and compassion, serving others in my own little world. In other words, bloom where I am planted. I can do better at that. I also find encouraging words when I listen again on Sunday afternoons to the morning sermon on Facebook. Our pastor encourages us to be our authentic selves. When the world feels a little raw, continue being the good neighbor you have always been, she says. We can feel an intense feeling of hope in the simple acts of walking together, sharing meals and stories, and visiting others when there is illness. This is a good reminder. When things get tense, I tend to hibernate. Picking up the phone would be a good thing. On a rain day, I turn to music on Echo Dot. Our robo friend Alexa is adept at answering the call to "Put on Anne Murray's music, please." Her song, "A Little Good News," expresses my sentiments exactly. After lamenting about the bad morning events, Anne broods during the day about the news at night. "I'll come home this evening," she sings. "I'll bet that the news will be the same." Anne wishes for a world where everybody loves everybody in the good old USA. We sure could use a little good news today. This refrain lifts my spirits, just knowing others are seeking the same peace. John Denver and Pete Seeger's songs ease the soul as well. Then there's YouTube. YouTuber Nate and his family's journey among the homeless portrays hope in action. "How you doing, bro?" Nate calls out to an elderly man sitting on his possessions in a mall parking lot. "What do you need? How can I make your day better?" The man looks up, suspicious at first. Will he be robbed of his meager belongings again? "Well, maybe some food," he says. Nate collects a shopping list of needs, hops to the nearest clothing store and fast food place, and brings back treasures. "Gee, thanks, son, you are an angel." "Okay," Nate replies, "one more question. A hug or a handshake? You choose." The appreciative man leans in for a big one. Filled with inspiration and hope, I breathe the dread out of me by wishing good happenings to my neighbors. I commit to continue to be strong in the communities that sustain me, my family, my friends, my church, my writing groups. The pandemic taught me an important lesson. Hold on to those who love you and love back. A hug or a handshake? You choose. I choose a hug. Thanks for listening.